Thank you for downloading and listening into this product. We here at Nebula thank you for your support and hope that you will enjoy. Let your mind and body wander. The pieces that you will hear in the virtual gallery have been crafted to free you from all discomfort. All your worries will start to become softened by the sound of the music. Take your time. Listen to each piece in the gallery and let us know what you think. You may now begin to listen to this product. And once again, we thank you for choosing Nebula.
Good evening, folks. How we all doing? Welcome, welcome. It is a chilly evening here in Melbourne, I would happily say. We had the 30s last week, and we're back down to something like, oh yeah, it's 9 degrees. Great. I thought we were in summer weather. Nope. Taken away from us as soon as it comes by. But that's no matter, because we got a bunch of cool stuff to work on tonight. If you follow me on Twitter, you may have noticed that I did a huge code refactor since last week. Basically what I started in the stream, where I was working on a bunch of stuff and fixing a bunch of stuff, I continued doing that throughout the week, and eventually just decided, hey, I'm going to get rid of all those old sort of modules that I had left behind, where I had like NM builds A, B, and C, so I've combined them all, or gotten rid of all the old ones, and finally consolidated everything together. So we got nice clean scripts, everything builds from the same place, it all executes properly. I just want to go through and sort of clean up some previous characters that we started working on before. There's like a T-Rex leg, there's some horse stuff that I want to do as well. They're not technically broken per se, I just want to improve them or work on some improved guide layouts and things like that for their joints. One thing I want to do before I do that though is I wanted to try, and if I go into my module and it builds here, I've got my FK chain, which I used to build all my FK stuff. But I noticed, I think I added some stuff in there before to make it like needlessly complicated, like having the option for like a base control and end control, so you can sort of like have it aim around, and some output stuff, so if you translate the controls as well, it'll always point at the next one, which is adding a lot of bloat to it, because there's some stuff I want to do with finger controls. Let me just build my basic human and see if I can sort of replicate the issue that I was seeing before. Because I'm working on a job at the moment where they've requested some like stretchy fingers, and currently what I do is just set up so like you can scale the finger controls, but I think based on how I've got it set up with all this sort of like bloat, is the scale isn't working correctly, so I just want to go back to like a simplified FK chain just to see if I can get it working in that and just sort of like avoid it. Because I don't think I need like the complexity of that kind of IK chain in every single build that I do. Like I think if we turn on this, so like what I've done is I've unlocked the scale Y on these controls. So technically, we can sort of scale these to increase the size of the fingers. But I believe if I grab all of them as well, curl them around. Let's move the thumb out of the way so we can actually see what's going on. Grab, grab, grab. I think we're getting some offset. See how it's not really like it's aiming down there when it really shouldn't be? I think it's because of the system that I've got set up. Let's go into object. Yeah, see, it should be pointing down here, or, you know, it's like yeah, it's all not oriented the right way. So I just want to do a simple FK chain, kind of put that into my digit build, just to kind of test that out first, and then we'll go into the other stuff. Because if I look at my lovely digit component, it should have an FK aspect to it. FK joints, FK custom control. That's good. Yeah, FK chain layer. So half this stuff like is turned off and is unnecessary. So I think I just want to sort of like pull a bunch of that stuff out and create a simplified one, which we can either choose to like sort of supersede this one, or yeah, because this one would probably be more like FK chain layer advanced, or you know, AIM or something like that. And the one we create, I'm gonna call it like FK chain simple for now, I think, but we'll change that later. Okay, well, let's grab all of this. Oh boy, come on. Cute. Okay, chain simple layer. So I want that. Don't need the root, don't need the aim. Root aim, root stretch, all of that can go. Control handles, that's all fine. Sequential scale. Do length scale. Yep, that's all good. Custom control. Constrain joints. Do end control. Lock translate. Yes. Okay, that stuff we do want to keep. So I can even go grab some of this. Actually, we could probably grab a lot of this stuff and then just delete the stuff we don't need. Let us see. Reference joints. Yeah, all these. Get rid of you. Don't need the root. Don't need the FK output. All we need is the standard stuff. Recap constraint, yes. And we want to, yeah, lock the translation of things. Yeah, just keep it. Rotate. Do we even want to have that option? Do lock translate? Probably. I mean, because it'll be broken. I think we can even get rid of that, honestly. Just keep it simplest FK stuff as possible. Do lock attributes. We just want it to be that all the time. So we always lock the translates and the scales, so it's only the rotates available, and we can just unlock the scale on a per character basis sort of thing. So we got that, the parent. Oh, I gotta remember some of these things. That can be false. So I think we can just get rid of those. Okay, so these are variables. The joint is that, and the parent. What is the parent? That's the parent space transform. If self to root. Oh yeah, get rid of that. That's old news as well. Parent string attribute. Let's have it as previous. I think that should be okay. Control manipulators. I think that should be all good. Nothing in there looks to be erroring, so our controls seem like they should be alright. So let's steal all of this stuff as well. Oh, I am tired tonight, folks. I've been getting like fairly decent night's sleep, but for some reason I'm really tired. Need some tea. Perk me up a little bit. Ooh, lovely. I do have to be up early tomorrow as well, so that's gonna be fun. Definitely gonna sleep a lot. Okay, so we don't need the FK outputs anymore. Don't need that. Get volume. This makes things very, very simple. Yeah, this is how simple an FK chain is, basically. You're just building transforms in the same location as joints and driving them, basically. Making sure the previous locator you build drives the previous one, drives the next one. Okay. So, with that, let's put it into action. go into digits. So first of all, we can swap that one out. Then we can take only the stuff that we need. So basically, that's all good. Reference joint, descriptor string. Don't need the root. That one, that one. Scale is important though. Constraint joints to end, and that'll translate to 80. Excuse me. Now, lock translate. Oh, that's fine now, because it is always locked. And FK constraints. Do I drive it to the root? I don't think so. I think I do it to the base FK, right? Digit aim to first FK. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I didn't even do it to the root. Smart boy, future proofing. I do something smart for once. Bound to happen eventually. Okay. Let's see if this will even just build by hot swapping that out. First test. Scan through deformation, loading skin clusters. Seems so good so far. Woohoo! Well, it's a simple FK script. One would hope it would complete properly. So let's turn on our controls. So these should all be just rotate now. Yeah, cool. And my love to you. You are not connected. Okay, well, nope. Didn't quite do it. It's all hooked up though. Yeah, just not hooked up to the... There should be a little flag saying constrain... Do constrain joints? Must have missed that somewhere. Do constrain reference. Ah, yes, haha. That is true now. Because we don't have any output locators driving them. So the question is, are these going to hook up to scale? I have to find out. Oh, 27 seconds. We got some decent build times. Ooh, once again, I should probably just script this than doing it every single time. I need to change this over to the from the control inputs as well. What am I missing? You. Yes. Okay. Now, because these are direct. Otherwise, it might be a bit more in-depth with scale if this isn't working. But it looks like it is. Hey! You! Like, obviously, I'm not normally a huge fan of scaling joints. The issue being is like any skinning sort of like behind it is going to get scaled out as well. Yeah, obviously you don't want to go negative as well. Is that even going negative? Yeah. But you can see, like, the further you push it, the more it sort of gets pushed up behind, which isn't great. Normally I like to tackle this stuff with, like, a single joint there, translation, just blending between the two, but that means adding more joints, and, I mean, for what this character needs, and just having that functionality, I think this is fine. Just wanted to make sure that the skinning didn't break in too many zany areas, which I don't think it is. Seems to be following and pointing along with the controls. The simplified FK for the win. Sweet, okay. That is pretty good then. Same with the thumb. Cool. Bing, bang, boom. First thing to tick off the list. Let's minimize that. I'll come back to that later. So, let's think about what characters we wanted to mess around with. First of all, the horse. Horse isn't as important because I think one of its legs is already pretty decent. Let me just build the horse first of all, just see. It's a quick build. So, actually, this is going to be less noticeable on the horse, probably. What I want to do is I want to improve the angles of the front leg. Because right now, they're very straight. I kind of want to improve the zigzag a little bit, which may mean kind of like lowering everything. Or even just pushing up the feet, maybe just for a test, just for the sake of testing. The other thing is, ideally, I want the whole leg chain to be straight. Now, I can't have it just be straight below the character, because this is going to start, like, cutting into the body. So instead, it's going to be sort of like having it straight but angled outward, I think is going to be the solution. Maybe this is one we want to do in the horse first, because the back legs, these ones are straight, I believe. You can see they're sort of just like, right down there. Yeah, maybe the T-Rex is better to start with. I think that's going to be a bit more of a better test case. But we'll come back to the horse, that's for sure. Because I'm not sure if I built in the functionality in my guides to easily do this. But I want to just test that actually straightening them is going to improve things. Because what happens is when I'm using spring solvers to automate some of the quadrupedal leg movements, you always have like that, I call it the swivel control. Still need to come up with a better name for it than that. But there's automation to that, and I'm using a spring solver to drive that. And the spring solver, if that chain is not straight, it wonkifies the next chain, which I think I should be able to show if I turn on some of the hidden stuff. Let's find out. Is this the end of the album? Yes, it is. So there's some chap person. Yeah, because it's like they're pointed outwards. Don't think it's straightened. But I don't know if I have a good way of straightening them. Because I don't believe I pull around from this. God. These limbs are nightmares to work with as well. What are you doing? Tertiary. You being driven by tertiary chain? You should be. Tertiary chain. Yeah, because it's not good stuff on the go. Ho hum, ho hum. Well, first of all, turn that down. Just straightened it. Moved it that direction. It's going to be drastic for the time being, but it should be okay. We'll move it back in a bit. This is all for testing purposes. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but let's find out. The arms and the legs in, like, shockingly very similar outputs. I think so. Gotta be careful of that. This is way too... Feels like this is not oriented exactly correct. Yeah, there we go. That turns off that tertiary. That's not needed. So that's like straightened, but we want it to be not directly below. Yeah, I need to design like one where you can just pull that and everything gets pulled around. But in lieu of that, can I just do like a really cheap, like let's just put everything these are going to be the main ones. Are they all along the same? No, they're not. Damn it. Slightly offset. Well, that'll be fine. We can fix that. So we want the angle. Let's match that. Like 6 degrees out. Yeah, something like that. roughly position it in every way. It's going to be too high off the ground. No, probably not, actually. Maybe a bit too far forward, but let's do this to test, anyway. Yeah. Oh, you haven't even keyed. Interesting. Ooh, yeah. On the side, it's gonna sort of wonkify things. Is that preferable? Not really. So we have non-oriented feet. Is there any way we can get around this? Because we do want the foot to be oriented right. The metacarpals, metatarsals in this case, will not be. I want to actually build the T-Rex rig and see what we're working with for the spring, because the spring will be clean one axis, I believe. It doesn't have the capacity to offset. Can we still use that to get a properly, fully extended leg? I don't think we can. Well, first of all, it's oriented wrong. But this should, I believe, be mostly oriented down. Interesting. Well, can orient that correctly at least to get it closer. Lex dictionary. Do chain flip override. True. This should be better. Nope. Ooh, not oriented the right way. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Got this one. So this, I mean, everything's constrained, so that's gonna fuck it up, but... Oh, not too far off. It is still offset, though. Oh, spring solvers. Let's take you. So this is it. So this is a clean, or clean-ish, first chain, sort of for RPs, and then the next one is arbitrary. That's because that in, like, a standard thing would be a single chain. But, spring solver. Interesting. You did not offset. I was under the impression spring solvers had to be a nice, cleanly oriented chain, but perhaps they don't. Which would make things okay for us. Because then that removes the need to sort of like orient that by default. So why did this one? Why is the auto orient stuff not working? Spring solvers also do this weird thing: is if you build them using scripts, is they flip for some reason. Maybe I can investigate that a bit more now while I'm here. Hey Marin, how you doing? I am doing well. I hope you are doing well. It's a quiet stream. We're looking at spring solvers. Everybody's favorite. Because I'm pretty sure. Let's go from Maya import commands. And okay, handle. What is it? Start joint, end effector, and what's the other one? Is it like? Oh god, I should just check my. Okay, scripts. Start joint, end effector, solver type. I could just use SOL. Pretty sure. Let's get rid of all of that. Modify. Let's rename these. I could just give them a prefix or something, can't I? Yeah, prefix. Let's go test. Start joint. Now, I'm pretty sure as soon as I execute this, it's going to flip. Yes. Or it just doesn't orient right. Yes. This is where the issue lies. The rotate plane. And getting that set up in a way that makes sense. Because I'm not entirely sure how it calculates the initial pole vector rotate plane that it sets up. Like it's pointing this direction. Same as the other one? Same as the other one, but not oriented correctly. Now let's make sure there's no shadow of doubt. Undo that. Undo that. So these are both the same. Let's rename this one. Edit. Modify prefix. Well, just prefix, why not? So this one, let's create manually. So create IK handle, which is spring solver. Select the first joint, select the end joint. Pole vector is still that direction. has those values. Whereas if we execute using a script, so the same thing, we're still choosing the start joint being this one and the end joint being that one. So over a spring, but it offsets it. Pole vector the same? Yeah. Same values when I'm toggling between them. This is something I've never understood. And this is why I avoided using spring solvers in my scripts for a bit. Because of this, I opted to go for like a solution where it was like using an RP solver of like, you figure out the joint lengths of like between, you know, the full chain and just doing a simplified 2-joint chain. And if you use the right joints, it'll have the same orientation, thus driving the other chain. I did that and it worked, but only in some cases because misshapen joints and things. Yeah, but why? That is the question. I'm wondering if I can find it out. Because, like, I mean, if we look at this, it's like, to me, I assume it's the same. The pole vector is in the same place. It's just offsetting these joints for some reason. That's all 0. Ooh, these are all... Oh, is it doing something? First one, it's orienting. Can I literally just change that? Ooh, I can do that. Interesting. If I grab both of these now... Ooh, no, something's on. Oh, as soon as... If I, like... do that, as soon as I move it, is it going to just go back? Yeah, okay. Okay. Good to know. So it's something... For some reason, the first joint's orienting. So the joint orient staying the same, but we're getting a bunch of rotational values. And we can't change them. Is there a way, even if I just... like I can roll it back into place. Oh, whoops. Let me just do one of them. Oh, sorry. Twist it into place. Why is it selecting 2? Right. Huh. How do I... If I can just like... Sure, if I can just add that value in. But what is the value that I need to add in? I need a specific value. Very interesting. Because, like, there's 2 solutions, right? We can work with this and just find a way of, like, on top of it, just offsetting the twist or whatever, using some kind of script, just figure out what the difference is and just do it. But why? Why is it doing it in the first place? It's just so weird. Pole vector's the same. I wonder, well, do we dare go into the node editor? Luckily we've got nice and chill music in the background while we're doing this, so we don't tear our fucking hair out. That's the same. So now that's the same. It just has the offset value. Show all. Actually, I mean, this is probably going to be the wrong way to go about it. We probably want to go about it in the attribute editor. Ooh, does the spring solver have anything to it? No, it's just all the same. Same and same. Pseudoodle. Okay, solver, attributes. Ah, there's a rest pose. Interesting. Rest pose. Would that be something to do with it? So hold on. If I 0 those, then we go to like a handle 2, set to current pose. Ooh. Nope. Damn. Do you think that it may be a reason why it's not appearing in the ICO server before calling in Mel? Like it's not stable as scripting? Potentially. It may be there's just something I'm not calling, or I haven't done enough in-depth research into how it works. Because clearly, like, doing it manually, like, what happens? Does anything different come up? Spring solver. 1 and 2. I mean, I guess I'm specifying start joint and end joint for this one. I don't think. Get it at you. Prefix 1. So rather, can I just go like select so rather than specifying the start and end joint here, we just create an IK. Does that work? Does the same thing. My IK handle. There's got to be like some value or something that's different between them that I'm just missing. So something must happen in the default commands when you build it. Like something is ticked, some value, some Boolean argument is like, which is not here, is done, which isn't done with just the standard like 3 things. Let's see if I can take a look at the documentation. Reposition your spring IK at pose, new handle rest pose, keyframe, select the spring IK handle we want to set and use. Okay. Maybe it's something to, yeah, this rest pose thing seems like it could be something. So it was selecting you. Ooh, that's a good idea, Marin, actually. Yeah. Just like the most roundabout way of doing it, but if it works, it works, yeah. Set to current pose. That does something. And it snaps immediately back. Yeah, screw that. Okay. So we got them selected, yeah. Hold on, we'll do it. What does it churn out? I think it was just... Select. Yeah, it just churns that out, doesn't it? Damn it! What if I even do it with the selections? Oops. Select R. You select add you. I think that's it. Go. Yeah, same thing. Is it like... What do they call it? The preferred... Set preferred angle? Oh, okay. Nope. What if I zero that out and set preferred angle there? Is this music all done? Yep. I'm getting through them tonight. Nope. What happens when I zero out the pole vector? Anything? Nope. Goes random location. There's nothing. Forces the curve, joint list, name. Is this still the same thing? Yeah. Okay. Ah, did I build two? I should have done that one in the middle, yeah. Okay. Again. Spring angle bias, that's not relevant. That just talks to the compression, I'm pretty sure. Advanced twist. Tis the same. God, there's some script you can run that like returns every single attribute, right? That's stupid. But could maybe be something. Offset parent matrix, offset parent matrix. That's 0. That's the ball. That's the ball as well. No values different on those. Haha. Block. Nope. Well, I mean, that stops it from moving. Specify start joint and effector. I mean, that's all frozen. Is it because it's frozen? I'll just zero it out. I mean, what if I put this into there instead? Yeah, that's... I don't think this is going to work. I think it'll make it go even... Oh my god, what is going on with my mouse? Still offsets it. Ah, preferred angle? Ooh, hold on. Did I set that? Yes, I did. Preferred angle 0, 0, 0. I mean, yeah, that's fine. That still offsets it, so it's not the preferred angle. I think. What does... So, solver enabled. I mean, I feel that's on by default. What are like these? Auto priority 0, solver enable, snap enable. Ooh, maybe it's snap enabled? Specify the curve. So, auto priority 0. So probably something in here is specified, but not specified when we do it via command. And there's no way, I mean... Oh, you know what? Command. Ow. I can handle tool. I can handle tool fire. I wonder if I can literally just use the IK handle tool command instead. That's probably very dumb, but potentially. Yeah, because technically, it's using the tool. Wrong way around. Okay. That created a spring solver, but you'd have to specify in the tool prior to set it to the spring solver. Interesting. Yeah, so it's something is being set in the tool that isn't being set by default when we create this stuff. And so auto priority off, solver enable, snap enable, sticky off. So it's just like, okay, trying to find the right equivalent. Just going through the documentation and being like, okay, what is what? Because I don't think there's a way of like, unless we actually find, tool help? What does tool help do? Hey, Gladnox. How you doing, bud? We are in a conundrum, my friend. You've come at a very interesting time where we are trying to figure out what is different between a few things. Hold on. I will do this. Mel eval. Why am I doing this way? It doesn't really matter. IK handle, solver, IK spring solver. So, watch this. If you create IK handle, spring solver, one to there, it builds it all, keeps the same position, everything's gravy, everything's good. However, if you do the same thing, just with the standard select one joint with the script, select a second joint with the script, and then evaluate the IK handle. Like we've tried this in both Python commands and just mel evaluating. I'm just stuck in mel eval for the moment. It offsets it. So there is some setting that's going on in the IK handle tool that is not being set by default. There must be... Yeah. So basically, I'm just looking through documentation at the moment, guys. Hoo boy. Solver enable. Active upon creation. By default. IK handle will snap back to the IK handle's end snap enable. Snap enable. Is there? I'm gonna go back. Okay. Dot joint. And effector. And solver equals IK string solver. Eh? Nani kore? Yeah, okay. It wasn't because I had the tool open, was it? Oh! What? That is so dumb. Huh. Didn't S-Infinity have the problem? I think she was doing it a slightly different way. I think she was using an RP solver. Yeah, but yeah, maybe she was having a similar issue. Maybe it's a similar thing between IK handles where just something is not being set the same way comparative to the tool. But until I find, I mean, it works when the tool is open for some reason. So, hold on, let's undo that. So we run this. Tool is not open. Offsets it. Yep. Oh, god damn it. Come back. Undo that. Run it again. Run the handle tool first. Then run the solver, and now it's made, and now it works. What? Okay. I think for the time being, that might be okay. I can probably deal with that. It's a stupid workaround. But I think I'm okay to test it out knowing that. So that is very strange. Okay. Yeah. You guys are tuning into something magical tonight, where we play, why is this working the way it is? So this one time, this is how I found out that Maya's got a really cool thing called, where is it? Is it under control? Tag is controller. So by default, when you manipulate something in Maya's viewport, it doesn't evaluate with parallel evaluation. It evaluates through the old, what is it? Not serial. Oh god, what's it called? It's been a while since I've used it. What's it? Blah, 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 blah. Not serial, what's it? In MG something. Oh god, it's been so long since I've actually profiled anything. The DG, sorry, DG. Is it DG? Yeah, something like that. And because of that, it's slow. So when you have something like when you're manipulating a like a cog or whatever, because the cog has so many ingoing, outgoing connections, you move it around. It's really, really slow to manipulate in the viewport. If you tag something as a controller, it then allows it to evaluate through parallel evaluation. So the playback of your manipulation of that control speeds up a ton. The reason I found out about this, because I spent like a day going through and like figuring out why it wasn't evaluating. Like apparently Maya doesn't actually make a control evaluate through parallel evaluation unless it's tagged as a controller, or I think it has more than 2 keyframes on it. So I was just like going through testing things, and then it was like, oh, it's a certain amount of keyframes that I've got on this thing that's causing it to evaluate fast or not. Because somebody had one scene where it was working, somebody had another scene where it wasn't working. And I was like, what? This makes no sense. So I had to spend like a whole day figuring it out. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Is there a way around that? And then I found out tagging controls is a way around that. So it's one of the magical things where you just got to sort of go through everything and sort of figure out what it is. And then you're like, oh, okay, this is why it is. The annoyance. Okay. Actually, what I may do in this case, because I'm out of tea, I'm going to get some more tea. when I come back, we're going to try and implement it into a script and see if that fixes it. So I shall be back in a jiffy.
Yo, man, that's a great philosophy, but, like, can you put it back together with quickness?
And we back. Fresh batch tea. Lovely. Yes. Parallel serial DG. So it evaluates in DG mode unless you're on control. So controller, add attacker's controller. In fact, we may be able to show that off. Like, let's move all this out of the way. So this is currently got a controller tag on it. So when you move it around, the manipulation's actually pretty quick. Like, everything's pretty responsive. If I delete this, is that gonna make it less responsive? Ooh, no, it doesn't. It's actually pretty good. Although that might still have some capacity in it somewhere. Yeah, I've also found apparently those controls can technically slow down your rig by a few FPS as well. I think somebody was talking about it to me on Twitter ages ago, but I think like the benefit you get from faster like viewport manipulation is sort of like outweighed. It sort of outweighs the small FPS drop that you get for using them. Is it because wait, I've got two tags. That's the input. Same thing. Yeah, still fast. Okay, anyway, where were we? Let's try this stupid workaround. If that's that. If it's spring solver, well, let's do that. We'll add that in. And now, let's change that back to false. And we may go into the limb build. So, I want to go into limb quad. Is it limb quad? Oh wait, no, it's the, we need to go into the layer. That's it. So I believe in here. Oh no, that's gonna build it. Fuck it, let's just build it the whole way through. It's gonna put an error in somewhere, but why bother? Let's just crank it. See what happens. One thing we probably will need to do though is in the T-Rex build, or does this reload anima? Yeah, let's do that in here. Oh, it's already reloading. I can handle. Okay. Ooh. Now we play the waiting game. So how's everybody doing, anyway? Outside of this so far. Everybody having a good day, good night, good morning? Oh. Well. Getting a bunch of errors now. Well, not, yeah. But it still doesn't fucking build it right. God damn it. Because I think I'm flipping it somewhere. But I just want to make sure if I deflip it, is it still is it in the same place? Slightly offset. Oh, one thing though. Ooh, setting up the setting up the pole vector is going to be the other thing. I'm just creating a whole bunch of issues for myself. Trying to recover from festival week. Ooh, that sounds good fun. Was that music festival? Quite uneventful. Been running around errands this morning. Errands? Oh. Life, what is it? Life, was it, what do people call it? Life audit or whatever? Or, you know, it's one of those days where you just got to focus on living, you know, getting all your shit done. Film festival premiere in my city. So my friends had their premiere. Oh, cool. Was that, like the short animated films you were working on? Life admin, that's what I'm thinking, by the way. Everybody needs a bit of life admin. Man, my cross 82.99 is... got some gentle jazz on. So here's the other thing I gotta figure out, where to place that polar vector. Because that ain't gonna work the same way. Screw that guy. Ooh, no, that's human. Where's T-Rex? Let's go straight for the joints. We're gonna start and figure this out. and get rid of these as well. You. Why did you zero it out? Oh my god. Come on, man. So that'll be the pull vector. I shouldn't offset it. Yeah, cool. Size equals. Oh, that does. Oh, okay. My film is To Do. It's funny because it's the name of the movie, and there's still some audio stuff need to fix, but it's going to release in 2023. It's some animation films, mostly 2D. There at the festival. Short comedy skit, a funny gay club experience, and an anecdote about a sex worker in the medical field. Sounds like a pretty varied kind of subject matter for the films there. That sounds cool. Are some more like experimental than others? Or are they all like Pixar style, you know? I do have a script somewhere. Where is it? For laying out the pull vector. Hey Jesse, how you doing, buddy? The pull vector with unit offset. I need to import lib as well. Import lib reload. Tab. So wait, this one. So that pull vector is actually okay. Okay. Let's set that to like, well, it might be too much, but. It does offset it. We do it for locator 2 instead. That slight offset is a little bit annoying. How can I fix that? Because where does it come from? Does it come from the whole... Yeah, I'm gonna need to find a way of honing in on what's a good solution for all this, because it's a whole bunch of disjointed issues that I'm trying to like string together here. More narrative experimental than visually this year. Yeah, cool. I'm doing good, Jesse. Well, we're entering the magical world of trying to figure out spring solvers and why, when you create them manually, they work one way. When you script them, they don't work the same way. They create a little bit of an offset, which I've sort of like accounted for, but not really. So I think this is going to be a sort of a more involved thing that I'm going to look at in my own time as well. Because again, it's too tired for this shit at this time of night. Thought it was just going to be like a casual stream tonight where I just fix up a bunch of things, but nope. Always got to encounter one of those errors. What happens if I just do this as like a RP solver? Huh. I mean, that's not too... when it gets to a certain point, it's gonna, like, break, isn't it? Yeah. But technically, I don't think the character would ever get that high up. But how... is that pole vector? Place. Set that to locator 1. If we offset that, yeah, it's the same problem. It gets offset as well. Cause the leg is not straight enough. Yeah, because it doesn't just account the pole vector from 1 and 2. It accounts it from the whole chain, I'm pretty sure. Just doing it from the 2 isn't going to be good. Best of luck. I'm going to profit off the things you learn. I don't know how much I'm really learning at the moment, man. Like, we sort of learned, like, if you have the IK handle tool, like, open before you run the IK handle with the spring solver, it, like, fixes the issue, but then you get a bunch of other problems that come with it, which I'm still, like... I'm just trying to find an optimal solution around them all. Because basically I just want one pole vector which controls... 2 aspects of things, because I have like a full chain solver for like the leg, then I'll have a sub layer underneath it where you've got like an RP from here to there, and then a single chain at the end, from there to the end. Use that single chain and the rotate plane to sort of like have the ankle swivel control. But I don't want to have like pole vectors different between them, because that just creates like more controls and things, which we don't need. Unless I don't use... Oh, I mean, I guess I use... No, it needs to be, no. Which means, like, I need to straighten up the legs, but then I can't straighten up the legs, because... I want to make sure the feet oriented forward. And I could reorient the legs all forward, but then all this shit's going to be in the way. I'm just trying to find like an all-encompassing solution. Because like a lot of these issues can be solved if I just had a straight 1, 2, 3 joint chain. Currently don't have that because let's go. We set to the T-pose. T-pose. Is this not even... Is it out with the T-pose? Huh. I feel like it should be. Did I destroy a bunch of stuff? suppose. Yeah, okay, for some reason. So, like, I want the feet oriented forward, but I can't, like, move the knees in because that would then mean the knees are, like, crushing into the body. But I can't move, like, I can't rotate that one out, create, like, a straight chain that way because then the feet will be wonky. So I'm like, what's the best, what's the best solution for everything? Don't know. Like, it'd be good if we could just keep this as it is, have a functioning, like, driver chain underneath, and... Ugh. But then the pole vector. Unless we just account for the pole vector offset somehow. Through using that twist. These. Okay, so we do this. So that'll keep it fine. Yep, that's still all oriented correctly when we do it that way. Create a pole vector. So if we move it there and we create a pole vector, that's fine. Well, is it? Oh, has it been offset? Interesting. Let's offset that. Locator 1. So that's roughly where it would be set by default. Pole vector that. Oh, is it already done? God, what is going on? Yeah, that's better. Because that's offset slightly, so I guess it'd be finding what that offset is and getting rid of it. If I just can't zero these out, can I? Could before, can't now. Because, like, yeah, offsetting the twist a bit would work. It's just like you gotta get it into the right value. Don't understand why it's getting offset. So I believe, like, when you... The pole vector, so what I'm using to calculate the pole vector normally, right, is... God, these songs. I need something that's more chill than this. What have I got? Sorry, I just needed something that I could actually listen to without it blaring in the background. So I believe when you create a rotate plane for 2 joints, you can calculate the proper position for the pole vector through a bunch of vector math, which I think I've just literally taken somebody's script online. I think it's in here somewhere. Whose is it? Pole vector position. Yeah, Marco Giordano's vector stuff. He put it up online, just copying and pasting it. So it uses like cross products and whatever to you know, find the center point and push it out based on, you know, start, end, and the middle point, and then pushing out along that triangular vector. Can use a bunch of math to set it up. Now, the difference between, like, that 2-joint one and this 3-joint one is, like, now we've got the additional part down the bottom, so I don't think the pole vector positions in the same place. So I think it would need to be, like, finding the cross product from the, like, here, and then pushing it out or something. But I want the pole vector to be the same for both this, like, spring solver chain and the subsequent underneath rotate plane chain. Just so they can have the same pole vector, they're still aiming at the same thing. Because I think, like, I could still have it, like, you know, offset like this, and then just find a way of, like, I can nudge the IK handle's twist, like, keep nudging it until it, like, gets into position or something. Because that's all syncing up. That's, like, better in the place I want it to be. But how do I find what that value is easily, you know? So at 1604, zero that out. There's no real clear way of just figuring that out, is there? Ugh. It's probably going to be something like finding the rotational difference between these two somehow, and then converting it to the twist. Is that even possible? Grab that. Match that. And then if I was to match, like if I plug that value in, how close does that get? Close, but not exactly. Because basically, if we get a full spring solver chain in this position with the same pole vector, all our problems go away. It does what I want it to. I can work with that, but until I can figure out a clean way of doing that. What was it, like 1063 or something? It's getting closer. Closer and closer and closer. But there must be one to, like, get it directly on top. That value's way off. Why is this one so crazy? Actually, that's probably something to look into. difference when we because I believe these should all be zeroed out for the most part. I don't know. Oh. Why do these have values? Oh, because it's not straight. Yeah. That's my... Well, what happens? Actually, what happens if I freeze these? Does that do anything? Yeah, it still gets offset. Seems to get offset more. But then these all start going closer to 0. Ooh. That's only the start one that gets rotation values. Okay. I guess it's pretty close. Just adding that value. Cranks on the pole vector there. Oh, you know what? Let's undo all of that. So that's not offset. One quick little thing you can do as well, if you don't want to use like a bunch of math to figure out where the pole vector is, like spatially, is you can just position a null group with a locator in it, select the IK handle, see the values it's got for the pole vector, just plug those into the locator's translations, like so. Ooh, no, not that one. Like so. And if we grab that and pole vector that. So that is the correct pole vector for this. Oh god, I always keep selecting that one. So we could times that by like 100 or whatever, and it's still gonna be in the right position. So maybe I just have to find out what the like angle differences between them or something. Feed that into the twist. Actually, that's probably the way to go, isn't it? Oh my god, come on. So we want that to be... I mean, honestly, I guess that doesn't really matter. Then same diff. I guess it's down a different vector. Oh boy. Too much for me to be thinking about this time of night. I think it's close. I think I'm close to kind of conceptually understanding what to do. But then just implementing it is going to be the next bloody thing as well. Sorry guys. Sorry for the sort of uneventful, boring stream where I'm just like staring at IK handles and everything. But this is sort of like interesting information to know as well when you're dealing with this stuff, because like spring solvers and just generally having like a RP chain that goes beyond just like the standard 2 joints can be like really alluring, and you just think, oh, it just works. And it works in very particular circumstances. Like if you have a very particular sort of like angle to your chain, which I notice as well, a lot of people sort of like this sort of angle for a T-Rex train is actually kind of optimal if it's flattened, right? But when you get off that, when you start having like different axes, which are sort of needed when you have a character that's more complicated, and you know you can't have stuff going through stomachs and whatnot, or if you have something like a horse where the joints are more of varying length, like you have a really short shoulder joint, and then the next two are much longer, like then starts, you know, complication starts getting involved. And I'm just trying to find like through all that complication, I'm trying to find an all-encompassing solution, which is just a lot of trial and error and figuring out how this stuff actually bloody works. Yeah, I might have to call it, unfortunately. What's the time? We're nearly at 2 hours anyway. This is going to be keeping me like awake at night as I try and figure out what the hell is going on and how I can fix it. What could I do? I'm going to try one more thing. Let's get rid of all these. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 things. Let's see if we can find out what the offset is. So, spring silver to that one. And rotate plane. This one. Now, do they have different... Ha-has. Yes. Now, can I find difference between them? Because as soon as you figure out what that difference is, I can feed that back in to the twist. Potentially. It's like a band-aid solution, but I think it would work. Like, there's probably a way you could do this with math if I was smarter. Alas, I am not. That's the difference between them. So that pole vector should be fine. That pole vector. Oh, did I do it the wrong way? That pole vector should be fine. If we turn on the original, they all synced up over it. They are. So how do we change? Like, I could literally brute force this if I wanted to be a piece of shit. I could brute force this where I just, like, for loop every 0.1, check to see if it's in the same position as the other joint, and if it's not, add another 0.1, check to see if it's in the roughly the same position, and, like, have, you know, a variable length that's like, okay, if it's within, like, you know, these dimensions, then that's fine, sort of thing. That's the piece of shit, like, brute force method. I am all about brute forcing. This is me, like, I like going bouldering, and I hate bouldering problems that I can't brute force. When I have to go slow and methodical through them, I fucking hate it. I like just being able to use my strength just to, like, blast through stuff. Not dissimilar to how I do this rigging, I suppose. Although technically it should be the Y. It should be a Y-axis. Rotate Y. This is offset. It's primarily the rotate Y. Well, get rid of you. know. I need to create like a flat plane, then figure out what that rotation is. You get them both in the same plane, same orientation, and then find out what the rotation is between them, and up with the twist. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this tonight. Splatterteague, welcome, welcome. So, the problem we are trying to solve is when you do a... So, we have a 3-joint chain. Or 3-span chain, whatever you want to say, however you want to call it. Basically, we're doing something like a quadrupedal leg, or, you know, in this case, it's a dinosaur leg, but you've got 1, 2, 3, and the final joint. So you build the solver from there to the end, and because it's not straight, the pole vector is a little bit different to what it would just be if it was just a standard 2-joint sort of chain. With those, you can use cross products, like a cross product sort of like script to figure out what the pole vector is. But because of that extra span, like that calculation is different. So, like what I had set up here before, let's just undo all that shit, is these are the two slightly different pole vectors between them. Because what I want to do is I want to be able to just use that 2-joint chain to specify what the pole vector is, use that pole vector for both of them, and have them sync up, because I don't want there to be any offsets. I don't want there to be 2 pole vectors that I use. I don't want there to be offsets between the pole vectors initially when I create things. So it's like, it's not the end of the world. What happens, like, I can grab these two, let's crank them out. Times equals 100, so we blow them out really, really far. So you can sort of see the distinction between them a little bit more. So if I move this one over there, the pole vector is now in the same place, but there's an offset on this other one now. So it's now slightly around. So like a solution I can figure out just sort of like by working with the IK handles is, okay, if I can find a value to plug into the twist, where I can just use that and like offset it back into place. Like using this right now is just sort of like a little bit of a guessing game. But roughly we could get it back into place with a twist value that I can extract. I just need to figure out a good way of extracting that twist value and plugging it back in. You know, there is a different setup you could make. I can send you an example. Are you talking about one where you use like a standard single RP? You sort of find the matching joint lengths, or like it uses orientation of a certain joint and then uses that to drive the next chain? Because that was the previous method I used before, which worked to a degree, still had some problems. Basically, it still has offset problems, and when it gets to varying leg lengths, it breaks down a fair bit. Like, there needs to be sort of like angularity and certain lengths, like everything needs to be of a sort of similar length, each like joint, each leg length. I mean, maybe there was a way around it that I wasn't thinking about. Method I use is not spring solvers. It's the same, like, honestly, the spring solver and using an RP solver here aren't too different between them. Like, we can plug that in. Let's do that. Spring solver from there to there. In fact, I think they're... based on how the pole vector placement goes, I think it's going to be the same for both of them. Let's take a look. Is it going to be the same if we do it for both? Yeah, both same. And honestly, I think if we move these around, yeah, the calculation isn't too different. Like, honestly, these could probably sort of equate. issue still is that the pole vector is offset from a secondary chain that I'd be making. And I just want to have those syncing up. It's basically like the difference is just the difference I'm trying to get around is I just want this to be the same pole vector for both chains. Because I've done like setups where there's just two pole vectors to work with, and then it's just confusing for animators, right? They've got, oh, I've got a pole vector here. Wait, when I turn on this one, another pole vector, because I have to move both of them. It's like counter animating and stuff. It makes no sense. So I'm just trying to find a way to get around all that if I can. But in order to get around that, it's like I've got some limitations within like how I set up my rig, or not limitations, but like sort of guidelines I put on myself, because I want my feet to be oriented forward for IK's sake, but I can't orient the knees forward because that would crush into the body. It's like different per character. There's things you can do, like if I was to able to just orient these legs straight forward, we wouldn't have these issues. It's really easy to create this setup based on that. In fact, I've done it for another character. I've done it for the horse and stuff. It's just you don't always have those same things every single time. And this is why, like, when I've created my system, I've tried to test it out on as many different kind of animals as I can, just to make sure I've got, like, use cases for every potential thing. Because this is another issue with, like, the T-Rex, right, is where we've got metatarsals that are sort of, like, connected up to where the ankle is. And if you've got control down here, like, you want to make sure these stretch because they could potentially shift the position of the toes, which then the animators might not like, because they have to counter-animate things. So, like, there's been various things I've discovered as I've gone along and done these in more detail that I've, like, distributed across to all my modules. It's a good learning experience, and that's one of the follies of, like, trying to create a really broad system. I like creating broad rigging systems because I want to make sure, like, if somebody asks me, hey, Robbie, can you rig a dinosaur? Hey, can you rig a bird? Can you rig a goat? You know, I want to say yes, I can to every single one. And it's hard unless you actually test them all out and then just trying to figure out, like, all potential avenues. And then you encounter problems like this, which may not be, you know, which may not be present if you were just rigging something flat on the side as opposed to something like this because of the limitations of the model and whatnot. The other thing, I mean, like, hell, I could just do, like, a biped leg, honestly, if I wanted to, and then just said to the animator, hey, you have to animate this additional one yourself. Screw automation, you know? But I'm nice. I don't want to do that. I want to have that in there. And it's also just a point of, like, personal preference. It's like I feel like should be standard in all these rigs anyway, and it's a good practice to get into. It's just figuring out how to do that in a way that doesn't break everything. Food for thought. Anyway, guys, it is 11:30. I know we haven't really, like, done too much tonight. It's been a lot of, like, this is interesting. That is interesting. How does this work? Yeah. Hopefully by next stream, I'll have figured all this stuff out and we'll have more interesting things to go through. That's like what happened throughout last week, where I just cleaned up, like, all of my code and everything is now neatly organized and got rid of all the other old crap and stuff that I wasn't using. So, yeah. It's more like Robbie comes in, doesn't know what to do, figures it out during the week and comes and shows off all, like, the fruits afterwards, and then figures out another problem and doesn't know what to do. All right. Anyway, then, guys, thank you very much for dropping by. Yeah, we'll just do the standard send-off.
Well, see ya.
Catch you guys. Have a good week.